It is now Thursday, the 23rd of April 2026. Tomorrow, the Michael Jackson biopic will be coming out in America, and yesterday it came out in Belgium. So I went to the premiere with one of my best friends. We also saw This Is It together 17 years ago. Yeah, I can't believe it's been 17 years. We had tickets to go to the first of the 50 London gigs in 2009. But of course, as we all know, he passed away just, 10 or 12 days before said first gig. Yeah, we had tickets for the first gig. Damn, missed opportunity. I've never seen Michael Jackson live, but with the release of the biopic, I thought it would be a great opportunity to show you my Michael Jackson record collection. It's over here. This whole IKEA, this part of my IKEA closet or kallax. Of course, it would be quite hard to just take them all out one by one, so I'll take a stack and then I'll show you guys in detail. So jump cut. So yeah, of course, the very first of the wall. This is this one I picked up thanks to just a girl from school while I was studying my bachelor in journalism. She just said, "Hey, I have Off the Wall, the vinyl. Do you want it? We don't need it anymore. My parents don't need it anymore." And she wanted €3 for it. So this is a 1979 pressing, Belgian release, I think, or Holland release. Let's see. Does it say? Printed in Holland, yeah. So this is just the release for Belgium and the Netherlands, and probably in Luxembourg too. This is the maxi single for Don't Stop Till You Get Enough. Funnily enough, it's a 33 rounds per minute. Well, 33 and a third. It's not 45 as you would expect from a maxi single. Here's Thriller. This is my parents' copy. This is the one my parents bought in the 80s. It says in Dutch, tijdelijk met gratis superposter, which would translate as timed offer or timely offer. It includes a super poster, which, let's take a look at it. Look, my parents kept it in pristine condition. I don't think they listen to it all that often. I added the plastic, but yeah, they kept it. My parents never wrapped their records, but still they kept it in great condition. The poster is included in the, so it's a, of course it's a gatefold with the famous, the lion cup, the tiger cup, but the poster is included in the first half of the gatefold, so the record in the second one. Let's see, I won't be able to show you guys the full poster because it really is super huge. Yeah, that's a super poster. My parents never hung the poster on their walls, so that's why it's in perfect condition. Here's the Japanese pressing of Thriller. Of course, the same album, just with a lovely blue obi. Picked it up from Kevin Kobos, the American Laserdisc guy that lives in Japan. Billie Jean, the maxi single. Look at this typo, Billy with a Y, makes me sad. Look at it, the original Belgian price is still included, 255 Belgian francs, which is 6.50 euro, which is actually expensive for 1982 if you adjust it to inflation. Includes the Billie Jean instrumental, not available on any album. Yeah. Beat It, also the maxi single, includes Get on the Floor from the album Off the Wall. It's pretty... I was always disappointed with the B-sides to Michael Jackson. He never included any cool stuff like, I don't know, unreleased tracks or rare remixes. Well, he did in the 90s, he did, but in the 80s it was just, why would you include a track from Off the Wall that most fans already had? It's a little cheap. Thriller, it says here, it's the long version, the special edit, and also Things I Do For You from the album Live, which is, if I'm not mistaken, the Jacksons live album. Funnily enough, the original owner, I bought this second hand, of course, the original owner added some sort of a stamp. Here's E.T., the narration, or the Michael Jackson narration, the audiobook. Bought this, I think this one was, I bought this on eBay in 2004, so at the height of my fandom. This one does not include the poster, sadly enough, so yeah, it's not complete. However, this is the Japanese ET, and that one does include the poster. This one's complete, but there's no obi, so yeah, not super complete. Here's Bad. Bought this one in, I think, 2005 or 6 in Antwerp, a long gone record store called the Record Collector, where I bought a lot of albums. They were always very they had the best prices. Record Collector, you couldn't beat those second-hand prices. I think this one was 4 or 5. Great condition. The Way You Make Me Feel, the maxi single, also 33 1/3. This one does include a few interesting bonuses, like the dance extended remix, the dance remix for the radio, the dub version, and an a cappella version. I'm always a fan of the dub version. Man in the Mirror, also the maxi single, just the single mix and the album mix on the A and the B side. So not a whole lot of content. Well, it is a 45, so of course there's less space for. It says here, dedicated to Yoshiaki Hagiwara, may such a terrible thing never happen again. I will always love you, Michael Jackson. A portion of Michael Jackson's royalties from the sales of this record will be donated to Camp Ronald McDonald for Good Times, a camp for children with cancer. And all the lyrics are included, which is a rarity for Michael Jackson. Here's Dirty Diana, the maxi single. It features the instrumental on the B side, so that's nice. Here's Dangerous. The full album, I paid $13.90 back in 2008, I think, or 2009. I remember this one when I was in Sweden during my Erasmus stay, my extended stay in Sweden. There was a guy who found it in a thrift shop. So there was a Swedish thrift shop that, I think it was 5 records for, I think it was €5, 5 for 5 or 5 for 6. So this guy picked up Dangerous, original 1991 pressing for €1. And then, get this, it still pains me to say this, he cut the artwork. Yeah, he just cut it with scissors to hang it on his wall. And then he used the records, I'm not kidding, I'm not exaggerating. He used the records to put a candle. So you saw the wax dripping on the pristine vinyl, and I did not yet have Dangerous, so why did he cut it? Why did he abuse the record for, he paid just €1. Anyway, I had to pay 14, still a great price. The original Belgian price is still included. It was 550 Belgian francs, which is almost, well, 14 €14 back in 1991, of course. So actually the same price I paid, but then I paid it in 2009. Here's also one from Sweden. Got it from a youth center. I was volunteering, and they had a record. They had a crate full of records. So I got the black or white, the Civilaze and Call the CNC remixes. Over 25 minutes of remixes. Yeah, the original radio edit or the original album edit is not on here. Here's What's Up With You, Eddie Murphy, Duo Avec, ... So they didn't want to spill the beans. Of course, it is Michael Jackson. Here's Scream, the maxi single with remixes featuring David Morales and Naughty by Nature and Dave Jam Hall. Is the original included? No, it's not. Nope, this is just remixes. Look at this. This is a drawing by Michael Jackson. The man could draw. Stranger in Moscow, the remixes. Promotional copy only, not for resale. Featuring mixes by Hani and the Basement Boys. Truth to be told, not the best remixes. Luckily, the album version is included on the B side. It's actually 2 records, so it's 4 sides. Here's History. Also a promotional copy, not for sale. Dedicated to Elton John. Thank you for everything. I love you. Okay. I'm pretty sure Elton was happy. So History is dedicated to Elton John. Sadly, no album version, but the Tony Moran's History Lesson, that's also on Blood on the Dance Floor. That's a great remix. I love that remix. But still, I would have preferred the original. Here's Earth Song, the maxi single. also includes on the B-side Wanna Be Starting Something, the Tommy D's main mix, and Wanna Be Starting Something, the Brothers in Rhythm house mix. So previously unreleased mixes of Wanna Be Starting Something. Still, again, I prefer the original. Here's Blood on the Dance Floor, one of the best albums by Michael Jackson. I just love Morphine, I love Ghosts, I love Is It Scary. The new songs are all excellent. The remixes are Tony Moran's History Lesson is good, and I also like the Scream Louder remix that includes a sample of Thank You for Letting Me Be Myself Again by Sly and Family Stone. Here's a re-release of Don't Stop Till You Get Enough, and I think it's Off the Wall. Yeah, Off the Wall on the B-side. This was early 2000s, a label called, well, it was Vinyl Junkie, and it was Sony Music in the UK. As you can see here, there's the other releases. Sony Music in the UK just re-released a few of those classics. Also, Dead or Alive, You Spin Me Around, Gonna Make You Sweat, Crisscross Jump, Apollo 440, Ain't Talking About Dub, Space Cowboy by Jamiroquai, Sexual Healing by Marvin Gaye. So yeah, great Sony stuff under the Vinyl Junkie banner. It's actually it's not a re-release of old stock, it's a new pressing, because even the spine number is VJAY1, so VJ for, of course, Vinyl Junkie. The copyright is extended or is renewed in 2000, so this is a 2000 release. And as you can see, I only paid $2.50. This was a discount in a long gone record store in Antwerp called Bilbo. Here's Invincible, the 2001 copy. I paid $19.99 for that, so when it came out. I like Invincible. It's not his best album, but it's a good one. Here's the Cry maxi single that includes Streetwalker and Shout. So Shout is really good, a really great new. So this is an example of a good maxi. The Cry song is not good, but the B-sides are excellent, Streetwalker and Shout. Here's Number Ones, the promotional copy, 2-disc vinyl. Here's One More Chance, the maxi single. It's a picture disc. So this was actually the only commercially released song from the Number Ones, a limited edition. I have number 4853. Eagle-eyed viewers will notice that I do not have History. History is the only studio album that my collection is still missing. It's now super expensive. I think you have to pay upwards of $400 or $500 for an original copy. Of course, I want a first pressing, and this is insane. Back in 2005, I saw a sealed copy in The Record Collector, the Antwerp store, for €20. €20, and I left it there. No idea why I didn't pick it up. Of course, the next time it was gone. €20 for a sealed History. I'm stupid. Here's Cheater, the 12-inch that came out as a promo for the Ultimate Collection in 2004. Great song, Cheater, love it. Here's the Thriller 25. So in 2008, he re-released Thriller with a few crappy remixes, but there's one unreleased track that's quite good, For All Time. This was actually the last thing he released in his lifetime, so he passed away half a year later. Sad. This is the same, and this is Thriller 25 on a picture disc. This is a gift from my cousin. I would not have picked this up because, of course, I had the Thriller 25. This is just the normal album, so without the crappy remixes or even without For All Time. This is just Thriller on its own, but with the Thriller 25 branding. Then the first posthumous release, so the first thing the estate released after he passed away. This is it. Of course, songs from the movie. Lovely 4-record set. Includes some nice things that we didn't have. So She's Out of My Life demo, Wanna Be Starting Something demo, Beat It demo, and Planet Earth, a poem. This album is dedicated to Michael Jackson's children, Prince Michael I, Paris, and Prince Michael II, Blanket. And it includes a quote, "Always great to sing with my brothers." A few years later, they re-released Bad as a Bad 25 picture disc. And of course, the full Bad 25 on 3 records. Great stuff. They never released Michael, so the first posthumous album that's also controversial because it includes 3 songs by an impersonator. So Michael is only available on CD, but they did release the second posthumous album, Escape. which is actually quite good. I like Escape. And then a few years ago, they released a screen compilation with all the scary songs, but they forgot to include Is It Scary? Yeah, so it's a scary compilation, but the song Is It Scary is not on there. Make it make sense. Thriller, the original master recording, so the allegedly better quality pressing from Mofi or Mofi. Dangerous in the Mofi or Mofi pressing. The new number ones from this year, so the commercial re-release. And then I have a few laser discs. Making Michael Jackson's Thriller, Moonwalker, the first American pressing, Moonwalker, the Japanese pressing, and Moonwalker, the second American pressing. I also have the Dangerous short films in Laserdisc, and History Part 1 and History on Film Volume 2. And then to conclude, I have a few 7 inches, so Will You Be There, In the Closet, Black or White, Leave Me Alone, Liberian Girl, Smooth Criminal, The Way You Make Me Feel, I Can't Stop Loving You, this is the re-release from Bad 25, PYT, Wanna Be Starting Something, Beat It, Billie Jean, again with the typo, what were they thinking? The Girl Is Mine, Off the Wall, Don't Stop Till You Get Enough, and the only non-epic release I have, One Day in Your Life. Yeah, I've never collected his pre-epic albums or his singles, so I don't have anything from the Motown years, well, apart from One Day in Your Life. And that concludes my Michael Jackson record collection. I'm always on the lookout for an affordable history copy, but I'm pretty sure I will have to shell out £400 or euro or dollar if I ever want to have a complete Michael Jackson collection. So yeah, I do have a complete AHA collection, I do have a complete Springsteen collection, but I still need history for my Michael Jackson collection. So by all means, if you have an affordable copy, I remember I was 7 years old when Black or White came out, and I was obsessed with the video clip. I remember him dancing on the Statue of Liberty and the morphing faces. As a 7-year-old, I was blown away. I think I even performed Black or White in the that year's school play. But I never bought Dangerous. The first Michael Jackson record I ever bought was History on CD in 1995. I think it was the release of the They Don't Care About Us single that drew me over the line, or that convinced me to pick up the History collection. And I think I knew next to nothing about Michael Jackson at that point in time. I didn't know the hits. I think I knew Heal the World, or of course Black or White, but Billie Jean, Wanna Be Starting Something, those were all unknown to me. And it wasn't until 2003, when I went to my first year of university, that I started becoming really interested in his back catalog, when a friend of mine, Matthias, introduced me to Dangerous, and then subsequently to Bad, Thriller, Off the Wall, etc, etc. So yeah, I was quite late to the game. I only became a real fan, a hardcore fan, that wanted to buy everything, that wanted to own the whole collection in 2004. So at least 10 years after his heyday, and 20 years after he became a global superstar with the Thriller phenomenon that dominated the airwaves in 83 and 84. So without further ado, let's take a look at my Michael Jackson record collection.